Pull up, grab the fuel nozzle, and get ready to fuel up on trends and strategies to grow your travel center business in this episode of The Truck Stops Here, brought to you by Natso. Now, here's your host, Amy Toner.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of The Truck Stops Here. I'm your host, Amy Toner, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Darren Schulte. Hey, Darren.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good. You are listening to The Truck Stops Here, Natso's podcast. Natso is the National Trade Association for Truck Stops, and our mission is to advance the success of truck stops and travel centers, and this podcast is just one of the many ways we do that. Now, I'm going to let Darren introduce our guests.
Thanks, Amy. Well, today we're blessed to have two guests from Sugarland Petroleum. They're going to share with us about their Lone Star markets in Texas. We have the CEO, Hasan Zakaria, and the Vice President, Ahmed Zakaria. And just a couple little bit of comments I'd like to say before we speak to them. I had the pleasure of spending a day with Ahmed, and I have to tell you, Amy, I was impressed on 2 points. One, I was really impressed with their travel center in Dilley, Texas, with the service. We're all struggling with staffing issues, and the service at that location, especially led by their general manager, Bonnie, was unbelievably strong, and the store was impeccably clean. And those were just really two of the many, many positive things about my visit. And with that, I will turn it over to you and let you begin pelting them with questions.
Sure. Darren, I thought you were going to say food. I know we're going to get to food.
Well, I will tell you this. Ahmed made sure that I tried almost everything on the menu, and it was fantastic.
Okay. Do you guys want to just start from the beginning and tell us about Lone Star Market, the brand, what it's about? I know you're in
first,
Houston. Right?
I just wanted to thank Natso. This is Hasan Zakaria. I wanted to thank Natso for everything they've done. You guys have been great. Great information. The conferences have been great. Thank you, Amy, for all you do, and Darren as well. We appreciate all the support, help, and also the community.
Good. Okay, now tell us about Lone Star Market.
Ahmed, you want to take this one?
Yeah. Hey, this is Ahmed Zakaria, and just to echo Hasan's sentiment, we appreciate what Natso's been able to do for the community, and my visit with Darren was very insightful, and I really appreciate him taking the time to come out. And hopefully he's not just embellishing on the food, but he really did enjoy it. So Lone Star Market is a concept that we had developed over the last few years. We are second generation in this industry and this business. And, we were really raised on some key principles by our parents and on how to operate a good C-store. And obviously things like, great service, being clean, being organized, having good training. And so these are things that we have tried to carry over into Lone Star Market, but we realized that the landscape has been changing over the years and is becoming more and more competitive. And, if you guys are in Houston, you guys know when we're on one corner, you got 4 gas stations there. And so it became more and more challenging for us. And obviously, we have brought this concept out to Dilley Truck Stop. But what Lone Star Market was just a way to differentiate us from the next person. And we did that, by adding a fresh kitchen and by really diversifying the products that we provide our customers and being very competitive, pricing as well. So, our brand values are best products, fresh products, best value, and best service. And so we really stand by that. And I hope, seems like Darren got that from his visit. So that's really great to hear. But we're really just trying to keep innovating every day and see how we can provide our customers with something different and, bring them in as a destination rather than a pit stop.
So how long has the brand been in existence?
I believe it's been almost 5 years, Hasan?
No, it's been about, so we rebranded. Like Ahmed said, we've been in the C-store industry a long time, and we have many C-stores and a truck stop as well.
Yep.
But, and now we're going through a rebrand initiative. We started the rebrand about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So we did our pilot site, then we did a second one. We did a Dilley truck stop, and we're just planning on going through these stages.
Absolutely. So one truck stop, right?
That's right.
Okay. How is it different from the C stores?
Hasan, you want to touch on that, or I can go first? There's
Sure.
So many things.
So it depends it depends on what you mean. Obviously, the truck stop is much bigger. Mm-hmm. It's a bigger operation. Your target market is very different than a city store. You have to be able to target market your customers, whether they're the truckers or even as a travel stop. I think today we can't just be a truck stop anymore. We got to be a travel stop. The industry is changing. There's more traveling going on the road. So that's how it's different. We got to find, we have different marketing initiatives that we're launching just to be able to capture that market.
Yeah. And I think Hasan, hit the nail on the head. There's definitely a different target market and demographic that you have at truck stops versus your city stores. I think one of the other things was just, managing a bigger team and even the amenities, right? Like showers and DEF and just a lot of different products and services that that market requires that we, have never offered in the city's limits.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people don't realize how big truck stops are. There's so many profit centers.
Right. Having two canopies, that's another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we talk about the food? Tell me about the food.
Absolutely. So Hasan and I are big foodies, and we do have some restaurant background. We do operate some churches and Burger Kings, among some other franchises in the past. But we felt like we really had a passion for food, and we wanted to, try our hand at coming up with our own kitchen concept. And rightfully, there's actually a lot of people that were doing it. So we did have some inspiration from some of the people who were doing it very well. But it's been a really enjoyable process. Our process in creating our recipes is just from A to Z. We're very involved. We have a really great Philly sandwich that you can't, it's not really widely available. So we're excited that we are able to create that for you guys. And we probably tried like 30 different breads, like 10 different meats, like 100 different combinations until we were like, that's the one. And we kind of treat that way with all of our recipes, and we are always trying to strive to use the most fresh products available, high quality. We don't spare any expense when it comes to our quality and our testing with these products. So we have a few different lines that we've been expanding from day one. We have, our sandwiches, but we also have, so many, a huge drink line. We have boba teas, fruit teas, milkshakes, fresh fruit juices, fresh fruit smoothies. We get produce daily. We cut it fresh. We don't freeze any of our fruit, aside from like a couple like strawberries, I think. But really, it's just a very, very fresh ingredients and very healthy. But also along with your comfort foods, your chicken sandwiches and your tenders. And again, all these recipes, they're not, your simple, just pick up a few ingredients, put together. We pack these guys with flavor, and it's been great. Probably one of the best parts of the job is to, develop these recipes.
Amy, one thing I'd like to add is that, I'm just chomping at the bit to say we have a lot of members that have food programs, and they may have like a restaurant, and then they have a grab and go cold food program or hot food program. But what this team does exceptionally well is using that commissary, taking the items that have the ability to be cold, like the sandwiches, and making sure that those are available in the grab and go section. Their packaging and is fantastic. But again, I'm going to emphasize, if they have items that they serve in the kitchen that have the ability to be cold, they do an exceptional job making sure those are available, because they really understand that often is two different customers. There are some folks who want to wait for something to be heated, and there's others that just want to grab that same item and potentially eat it down the road. So they deserve a lot of credit for really utilizing that kitchen as a commissary on the retail side of the business.
Absolutely. We have to maximize, as much as we can out of that small kitchen. And in the future, we hope to incorporate bigger kitchens into our layouts.
I was going to say, I don't think it seems like it's so unusual to have such an interesting array of beverages. Also, I don't think you see that very often. I'm actually the opposite. I'm not a foodie, but I do enjoy my beverages. So I thought that was interesting that you had such like unique and fresh and.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is that we enjoy these things, and we're blessed to live in a city where it's like so readily available.
Yeah.
So it actually makes us happy that we're able to bring these products available more closer to a lot of people who maybe normally don't have that. Like, for example, Dilley, Texas, it's a very much smaller town. You have maybe one sit down restaurant in the whole town.
Yeah.
And, no boba shops, no juice bars. And so, we're able to provide all of our customers that at an affordable price.
That's awesome.
And, Amy, what was interesting about that comment of yours, you're kind of spot on, because I was surprised how many folks were walking out of the travel center during our visit with drinks.
Yeah.
Right. So that probably was maybe new or existing customers, but folks were really drawn to the opportunity to get out of those, the smoothies and the frozen drinks and the fresh drinks. It was surprising to see how many folks were doing that.
Yeah. I mean, you and I have been to a lot of truck stops in our days, and they all have the same beverages.
And except these folks are doing something different, which I thought was, again, kudos to them for doing that.
Can you guys tell me a bit more about the brand? You said tell me again, your slogan and what it means.
So it's fresh products, best value, and best service. Mm-hmm. So again, we're striving to provide fresh products, and we don't just mean our food. We stock, ice cream and groceries and candies and all kinds of things. So we always want to make sure, cakes, everything is as fresh as possible. Mm-hmm. We're always checking for expiration dates, and we're always rotating. We're doing first in, first out. We're making sure these processes are allowing our customers to get the best products. And then the best value, we're constantly gauging our pricing, and we're constantly comparing with the market and making sure that we are, at the market price and we're not too high. And the best service. And again, this just goes back to our day one values, where, you take care of the customers take care of you. And so, we always put the customers first, and, a big part of our training and our brand is to just be welcoming and make sure people leave with a positive experience.
Amy, I have another thing to add that I think they do exceptionally well. Mm-hmm. You and your son are on a sour cake candy. All right. Yeah, you guys are enjoying sour kicks. Well, what's really interesting is there are a lot of locations in the Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona market, which will have Mexican candy. It's a big, hot selling item, growing category. They may have one end cap, or they might have an end cap in a small 4-foot section. But when you go to the Dilley truck stop, you see how well this team understands their customers, because that's a large percentage of their customer base are Hispanics headed down either to Laredo or San Antonio, going up to San Antonio. And they make a point to have a significant amount of products that match their customer base. And that's, again, often unique in our industry, because we're often cookie cutters. If store A is doing this, we're going to match it. If store A puts in a Subway, well, then we'll put in a Subway as well. And this is an organization that's not going that direction. And I think that is going to pay huge dividends for them in the past. I mean, if you like candies, chili or sour types of candy or things, you and your son would have just an all-day wonderful food explosion at their location, because they have literally every single types of Mexican candy that you can imagine. And it's great to see. It's not just a 3-foot section. They're really focusing on who their customers are. It's well done.
Awesome. I need to see a picture of it. You guys have to send me a picture.
Absolutely.
I might have one if they don't have one handy.
Okay, good. Okay, so you said you're in the middle of the rebrand. What's the plan? What's the next year or two? What are you doing for the future?
I'll let Hasan answer this one. Hasan, either.
Okay.
So, like I was saying before, we're planning on converting or rebranding our existing sites. Mm-hmm. We also have some new sites coming in, and we're continuously, looking for new possibilities, new development. That's just the next couple years.
Brilliant. Are you guys looking at different fuel options or diesel?
Yeah, we are. We're already in diesel and fuel. We looked at electric, with that come in, but we feel it's still a little early, unless it's depending on the site. It has to be really the demographic has to work. But no, that's about it. That's what we've been looking at.
One big thing that we're doing is we're introducing drive-through very soon, which that's going to be new for our concept as well, and we're going to be eliminating dine-in. So that's two things. But obviously, the truck stop we have some seating area, but otherwise we're looking at eliminating dine-in. We notice that most customers just don't want to stop at the store; they're always on the go.
Yeah.
And I think with our concept, the whole idea was we're going to get you fast, casual, quality foods in a fast-paced environment on the go.
And I think your food model lends itself to a drive-through. I'm always challenging members that drive-throughs in that they're trying to sell everything under the sun in their travel centers. Some have had some success, a lot of them have major challenges, but your food concept and your drink concept is so fantastic. I think you'll probably see some great success with that program, candidly, because it really lends itself to that opportunity.
Agreed.
I was going to ask, was that a pandemic related change? Did you feel like was shaped by the last 2 years?
Well, man, the cost of our proteins, the cost of dairy, cost of gas. Obviously we saw a lot of changes in a lot of shifts with inflation.
Yeah,
we had a lot of stock issues. A lot of companies weren't able to deliver at the rate and frequencies that they used to deliver it to us. I mean, I'm sure I'm just preaching to the choir at this point. There was so many issues, staffing issues. We were short-staffed everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think slowly we're starting to see things get back to normal. And we're starting to see everything's kind of coming back around. It's a cycle, right?
Yeah.
And we had a very sharp down part of the cycle, but I think as of probably like last week when they said no more masks on airplanes, I think we're right at that corner. We're right at that part where we can turn that corner and say, we're out of that pandemic.
Good.
How about you guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would agree. I think most members are saying, what most members tell us that in terms of profitability, 220 and 221 and the beginning of 222 have been really strong, but it certainly has fundamentally changed a lot of their practices. Some folks are going to go back to some of the things they did prior to the pandemic, and others have decided to move away from that. Like your comment related to no dine-in, we have a lot of folks saying that they're going to move to more grab-and-go types of food programs and or drive-through for their food programs versus putting in dine-in. So I think you're going to see a lot of folks getting back to the way it was, and others kind of saying, you know what, I liked what I learned, even though it was difficult and challenging, and I'm going to move forward with these new opportunities that I found profitability in.
Right.
Okay. Before I let you guys go, I'm going to ask you my fun questions. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Make them both answer, Amy. Both of them got to give you the answer. No skipping out.
Okay. So what is your go-to on the road snack? Do you want to go first, Hasan?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow. I mean, I have too many. I mean, it's hard to just choose one. But on the go, I mean, I personally do a lot of driving too. So, I like my salty snacks. I like some sour candy on the way just to have something. But, for sure, I mean, I'm an on the go type of guy. So fresh foods is the best way to go for me. I like to have something fresh, maybe a drink or fruits or anything, even a snack type of a taco or something just on the go.
Ed?
I'm pretty sure his correct answer was cheese Danish, but we'll leave that.
All right.
Well, it depends. It depends where you are. But I don't know if you've been to Austin.
All right.
But hey, if you're going to Austin, there's some famous bakeries on the way there that are really famous. They've been there for a long time, and if I'm driving by there, then I'm stopping and getting that cheese Danish.
My answer is a little more boring. I don't know if coffee counts as a snack, but usually I'm not more of a snack on the go guy. I'm either having my coffee on the road or I'm stopping somewhere to eat. So,
all right, we'll take it. Do you prefer to ride or drive?
Ride or drive?
Yeah, well, you can go then.
Well, ride? What are we talking about?
Like, do you prefer to be the driver or the rider in a car?
It depends on who's driving.
Okay.
I would say probably most of the time I prefer to drive, but it's always nice to be able to just sit back and let someone else drive you if you trust your hands in their life or trust your life in their hands.
Yeah. And I'm pretty much letting Emma drive me, so
you want to drive? Okay.
I like to ride. Yeah.
That's funny. We never get that. Okay. How do you take your truck stop coffee?
How do we get our what? I'm sorry?
How do you take your truck stop coffee?
Oh, I drink black. And it's actually a funny story. I always used to take cream and sugar, and then we switched to a new kind of coffee bean at the office. And I just happened to take a sip black, and I realized that this whole time I didn't hate black coffee. I just really disliked the beans I had. So now I really enjoy trying all different kinds of black coffee, and some people say that's bitter. I say that's the taste of coffee beans. So it's just a perspective, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Fun.
I like mines with milk, definitely with dairy and some sugar. But I'm not really that much of a coffee drinker. I like my espressos, and I like more like cappuccinos and stuff like that, lattes, stuff like that.
Okay, and then the last question of the day is a controversial question, which is it a truck stop, a travel center, or a travel plaza?
I think a travel center.
Travel center? Ahmed, your travel center?
Yeah, travel center.
Okay, thanks guys. All right, thanks for listening to today's episode of the Truck Stops Here. You can find us online at natso.com/podcast. If you have any questions that you'd like us to answer on the podcast, please reach out to me at editor@natso.com. All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
You guys have a wonderful
Thank you.
The Truck Stops Here was brought to you by Natso, the association representing truck stops and travel centers. Visit natso.com for more information. The Truck Stops Here is produced by Natso in collaboration with Human Factor. Producers are Amy Toner and Darren Schulte.